Hey guys, my name is Ankit and welcome back to my videos. So today we're taking this Audi R8 and getting the steering wheel installed. So the steering wheel on Audi is pretty thin and I like something thick. And I wanted some carbon. So I got an aftermarket steering wheel, which my friend George, who is a pro drifter, going to help me install it. So we got some carbon fiber panels and a carbon fiber wheel. So the panels on the Audi are not the best. They feel very cheap, and the steering wheel, I feel like they could have done better for a sports car. But we're gonna fix that, and we're gonna install the wheel and the pedals. Obviously, we have only 45 miles left, so we're gonna go get gas, and then we'll go to George to install the new wheel. Are we gonna park right there?
That's the TV Herman.
Damn, bro. I thought you were giving this away.
So here's the first step. First thing what we're doing is we're adding paddle shifters because the ones that come on this car are absolutely badussy. And if you don't know what that is, that's booty, dick, and pussy. So first things first, you have to turn the ignition on with a key because you have to be able to turn the wheel left and right to get to the pins to pull the airbag out. So what you do is you turn the ignition on, so it unlocks the steering wheel, and then you got to come here and disconnect the battery while the ignition's on. This way the steering wheel doesn't lock
Got it.
after you try to turn it, because if it's got power, it's going to lock it. And the airbag will deploy on top of it. So always start the ignition, disconnect battery. Step one.
Got it. So you need a 10 millimeter to remove the battery?
Yep, you go right here, pull this down. You got your positive and your negative. You don't need to take the negative out, just take the positive out. So you're basically going to go in here, just loosen this just a little bit. You don't have to go crazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go grab a rag. All right, so pop that off. Take a rag, put it underneath it, and set it on it to make sure it doesn't make contact. Because if it does make contact and you're trying to take the airbag out, kaboom.
All right, what's the next step? You turn the wheel 90 degrees?
I already turned it when I had the ignition off. So you see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little hole back there. See it? So you basically got to get one of these, any screwdriver, something small enough to get it into that hole. And then, oh, up here. So you get it in there, right? And then you push and pry up in the same time. You'll feel a pin back there. So you basically just want to put a little bit of pressure on it. Once you feel the pin, depin, you see the airbag? See how I'm moving it? So it looks like a butt plug. You ever seen a butt plug? Everyone's seen a butt. Get it in there and you'll feel the pin let go. You just take your time, pushing it down, and then it'll release that deep pin. And then you basically turn the steering wheel the other direction and do the same thing. Way. We're going to go into this hole. There's the other hole. We're going to find that pin.
It takes a little time to getting the pin.
Well, especially if your airbag's never been removed, it's a pain in the ass, but it'll go.
Over here we have George rebuilding the engine for the Huracan. This has a VF supercharger, the same as my car, but it has a issue with the engine. And he's gonna remove the engine, rebuild the engine, remove the blowers, and he's gonna put cheapy twin turbos on this. This is a Evo. It's a beautiful car. It has some aftermarket forged wheels, has carbon everywhere. It is a convertible, so it's harder to work on. But George, he's a professional. He has everything out. Next thing, he's gonna remove the engine, rebuild it, put the stock blower, and put some cheapies on this. How much do you think this car is gonna make, the Huracan?
It'll make about, well, at first it's going to do about 800 to 1,000. And then once we can get a little bit of break-in miles on it, we'll turn it up to 1,300 and leave it right there for, I don't know, until the owner decides, let's go to 1,800.
Oh, that's crazy. That's a lot of power. We already have the airbag out.
So see this? So I'm going to show you here. So watch.
In the back, we have
Yep.
the screwdriver in, and
So you see this metal pin back here? See,
Mhm.
if you can get the camera in here, you can see.
Yeah.
See that hole right there? So what you're basically doing is going there and you're trying to push on this metal pin right here.
Mm-hmm.
See this right here? If you
Yeah.
push it down, see how it unlocks?
Mm-hmm.
So you go in and go up through this hole, and then it grabs on this side and then lowers this, and then it's just butt plugs.
Oh, I
Little
see
baby
what
butt
you meant.
plugs. And then that's it. And then the next thing you do is you want to take off this clip. So there's a retainer clip right here. You got to pull this up. What that basically does, this is like a safety clip, right? This locks the ABS connector in here. So once you take this out,
Yeah.
then you can get access to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then right here, you're going to see this little plastic holder. So this is just looped on there, right? So it's just a clip to hold it to keep it from getting out of the hole. You're just going to want to gently pull the wire out, right? And then this black clip right here, it doesn't take much to remove this. So you don't have to squeeze it. There's no lock. You just got to grab the plastic and just wiggle, and it'll come right out by itself. And
Got
then
it.
you go over here, take it off that one, and then there it is.
Okay.
And then you get to this black clip. Like I said, there's no pressure clip release on this. You just grab it and then separate it, and then it'll come out like that. And that's it. There's your airbag.
Perfect.
Step one done. And then you want to straighten the wheel back out. So to do the shifter paddles now, you have to remove this faceplate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So inside of here, you have wires for your Navi, your menu button, your return, all this stuff, right? So you need to get these Torx heads out right here, which are T20s, I believe. I'll confirm that. And then there's T20. And then
There's
once
total
I
4.
take, yep, total of 4 bolts. And once we get that, we'll come back to you and show you the next step. And we're going to take these screws out right here. They are not to be torqued super tight. They're just snug. So you want to get one out. And then what I do is I set them right here next to the radio controls. Make sure you don't knock it out and lose it, because you'll be screwed.
So do you recommend doing that or removing the whole wheel and
No,
do
leave the
some?
wheel. You don't have to take the wheel out. Do it. Stay on. So you're just going to do exactly what we did. Disconnect the battery, take the airbag out, take these 4 screws out, and we're going to take these screws and set them right here. There's 2, and then we got 2 more down here. Now that we have that out, this wire can stay in here. Now these 4 bolts holding this trim has to come out. So what you do is you just gently pull, and you'll feel it. It'll let go. There it goes. You get 1 pop right there. Here you want to just grab in the side, but then this whole thing, and then it'll just let go by itself. You got to work it. Don't pry it too hard because you'll break shit.
Mm-hmm.
So you just want to massage it, right? See how it's all moving? You just want to massage it. And then make sure this wire's not in the way of anything. It's all one unit. This is going to come out
Got it.
as one unit. So you're going to take this out. See how it's out right now?
Is it clips or it's just in there?
It's clips. It's just pressure clips.
Oh, pressure
See
clips.
that?
Got it.
How the whole thing's coming out? Just got to massage it. No reason to rush it. And then boom. This thing right here, you'll see a power and a ground, right? So you see that power and ground? You can just grab these wires and tuck them out, just wiggle it. So that's your horn. When this makes contact, that activates the horn. So you want to disconnect the horn. So you just grab these little wires, just a little wiggle, and then pull them off, and then boom, disconnected.
One was connected right here and the one right there.
Yep, positive and negative. You can't mess it up, because
Oh,
if you
okay.
look in here, you see the positives right here,
Got
and the
it.
ground's on that side.
Got
Now,
it.
you don't have to disconnect this. You can leave it right there. You don't have
Mhm.
to go any further than that. And then you're going to take your same, actually, no, these are T10s, I believe.
T10.
Yep. So then you're going to take these screws out right here. There's only 1 screw on each side. So you're going to back this one out. Once again, do not lose this little sucker. You're going to set it over here on the nav side. See, these are the ones that hold the trim, and this will hold the paddle. And then what you just basically want to do is wiggle her out until it lets go. Just got to be gentle, and then boom, there's your paddle shifter. And then there's a little harness right here. What I would recommend using is a small flathead, which we have one right here, little guy. And then what you basically want to do is, you see this clip right here? See that? Push in and out, and that's it.
Oh, perfect. That's
There's
one.
There's one. And we're going to go to the other side. Same thing, rinse and repeat. Screw out.
These
bolt
feel
out.
so much like plastic.
That's 'cause they are.
Cheap plastic. It's crazy.
Yep. And then we're going to wiggle the other one like that. And you can see right here, you see this hook? So this hook hooks into that spot. So when you pull it out, just remember you got to reverse the hook. Don't try to pull it straight out. You'll break them. And then that's it. And then we're going to take this clip off too, this harness. So we're going to go push in and up. That's it. That's paddle number 2.
All right, paddles are out.
So we are going to whatever the hell these things are called.
Magnetic paddle shifters.
Magnetic suction shift paddles. These are the same, literally identical ones that I've installed in the other one. So they're basically gonna do the same thing. Now don't be alarmed because a lot of these, they don't, so here's the stock and here's the aftermarket, right? I'm sorry, that's the wrong pedal. So these are both minuses. So you're gonna see is the mounting location on the tabs, right? So you're looking at this, right? So it doesn't have this hook. Don't worry, it's okay. It still has a pressed fit. So you're basically put that same screw in and then make sure the connector's on there. But like I said, you lose this, but that when it sits inside there, it's actually really, really snug. And then the hardware for this should be in this bag somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the box in there.
Yep, and make sure you use its hardware because this is a coarse thread and that's a fine thread.
So it's a different screw which comes with the.
Correct. And they come.
If you're just doing the paddles, you can just put
This
the
is
paddles.
just, yep, you basically just put the screws in that it came with, the machine billet screws, and then you reverse this entire process. And then make sure when you put this back in, the paddle shifter was going to go sit, the harness is right there. Make sure it stays in here, in this hole, right? Inside this trim, because if you catch it here, you'll see the wire and you'll smash the connector and then it's game over.
Which is
a very bad day.
So we are changing the wheel. So we're going to the next step and
T25 again.
T25s.
Yep. They're going to go ahead and take these 3 out. So behind these screws, just so there is springs. The spring is the horn part. So you're going to want to take this out and then you can take, see the sleeve right here? That sleeve behind it has a spring. So the horn can do this. So it can fight you, right? So then you take these screws out. And on the last one, you want to be really careful because you don't want to lose those springs. Otherwise your horn will not work. We're almost there. Screw number 2. Pull this out. You can pull this sleeve out if you want. It doesn't really matter. The spring's behind it.
Got it.
So we do that, and then we're on to the last one right here. So now we got this out. Now this thing's going to try to spring out because it has springs behind it. So just put a little bit of pressure. And then once it's out, like that, you can go ahead and take your fingers, pull this sucker out, right? Slip the bolt down, and then you'll see the springs behind it. See it? So
that goes the sleeve.
So you want to save all this stuff. Do not lose it. That's it. We'll set all this stuff down here. Now, this right here, if you can see, it just sits on there, right? So this is the ground contact, or a positive contact that sits on the horn. So you're going to take this off, and then we're going to go ahead and just set it down and out of the way. Now, this has to be gunned out. This is clipped on the inside of the column, so you don't have to worry about these. What you need to do is take out this bolt right here, and then we got to go get a special tool for that. So let's go get that tool. So the next piece, you're going to need this triple square tool. You're going to need the XZN, the 12 mil, right? And then the 12 mil will go on just like that. So you're definitely going to want to use an impact. It'll make life a lot easier. If you sit there trying to break it free, you're going to be holding the steering wheel and all this jazz. If you get an impact, you can just shock it really quick and it'll come right out.
All right.
So that's what we're going to do.
Got it.
So
All right, we got the impact.
Yep. So we're going to get this on here. And then, boom. Now comes wiggle, 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 wiggle. So I'm just kind of getting a gauge of, here, another note. You see this spline mark right here? This is the straight up and down. If you look very carefully, you see that line?
Yes.
Always align. This should be perfect to that. Now, when you take this out, you see the little teeth? It has to go on entirely perfect or else your steering wheel is going to be crooked. So you're just going to basically just take this thing out. And this is your old wheel.
Perfect.
And then this is your telescopic sensor. This is what reads, you know, when you're turning the wheel left and right. That's what this is. But we're not going to touch that. We're going to take the new wheel. And then you see that mark right there?
Yes.
We're going to match that mark to that mark right there. And then we're going to put the sucker on just like that.
Perfect.
Perfect. And then literally rinse and repeat. You're going to take the gun. You're going to use the same impact. Do not use a hand ratchet. You just won't be able to get it on tight enough. What I do is take it out, start the threads by hand. Don't just try to gun it on there because you'll strip the threads out and then you'll be really pissed when you have to replace the entire column. And then that's done. Put the gun on it and then send it. That's it. Don't need to over tighten it. You don't need to murder it. And that's it. And now we put the whole thing back together. So first things first, you got your horn power plate, right? Then we're going to grab our spring-loaded plate right here. So we're going to need to put, see these shims, how the holes are not perfectly straight? So you just want to kind of drop it in there, and it'll go in only one way. If I can get my fat fingers to do the work, right there. See that? It
Got it.
falls in only one way. You can't really screw it up. I mean, you probably could, but it's not a good idea, right? And then let's drop the other one in. Come on,
Just don't force it. It'll just go by itself.
It'll fall in there. Once it's fine, its happy spot, it'll fall in there. That's it, right? And then we're going to take the screws. We're going to put the screws on top like this. And then take all 3 fingers and make sure you got your spring. So we're missing one spring, so we got to take our last spring, which goes on the bottom. And then you're basically just going to, if you want, you can take the spring out and just kind of clock it on there. If you rotate it, it'll kind of stay. And then you just do this. That's it. And then we get our tool and we start tightening.
That's the T25, right?
Yep. No, this is the T20.
Oh, T20.
T20, yep. They all look alike after a while. So this thing is very important, and very important note here. Do not over tighten this, because I'll show you what happens when you over tighten these. So see how it's floating like that?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to tighten these all the way down. Let's say you're just like, oh, I'm going to tighten them all the way down, right? Here's what happens. You're going to sink them all the way down until they can't spin anymore. Do not over tighten it, right? So this is just one, right? I've got it pretty tight. Now look, see all that space? If you bottom this bolt out all the way down, you're taking the spring and you're compressing it all the way down. Now look what happens. See how it doesn't move?
Yes.
So you're going to back it out. You want it to have no contact, because what happens is if you push this, if it makes contact, it's going to trip the horn. So you don't want it all the way down. You'll start to feel the tension in the bolt. It'll start to get a little more tighter, right? Like a little more snug. And then you just want to make sure they're all evenly tight. Otherwise, your horn's going to not stop and you're going to be pissed off when you go to start it. And it's like, ah. See that?
Mm-hmm.
See how it's loose?
Yes.
So you want it right about here. So it's got just a little bit of play. You don't want all this. You want just a little bit of play like that. So I'm going to bring these down just a little more. This is just kind of a finesse game. You just kind of do one, do the other one. You just want it to be loose, but almost damn near down there, right? Keep it there, you know what I mean?
So just enough so it feels like it's a horn and not just a metal touching another metal.
Basically, you don't want to piss it off too much, you know what I mean?
Got it.
So you just want to kind of like finesse it. So, you know, if the horn was there, that would be on, right?
Okay, makes sense.
You don't want it to be like, if you over tighten these and it sits like this, it's just going to turn the horn on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got to have a little bit of detent, right? That's
Got
good.
it.
Right there's good. So then you got to grab this. And we're basically going to rebuild this entire thing, right? So we're going to reinstall this just like we took it off. So you're going to go up.
But before we do that, we should put the paddles on.
Yeah. Good idea. And then where is...
So these are the screws that came with it?
Yep, they use the screws that came with it. I always use the stainless ones just because they're stronger, and they work the best. So you're basically gonna feed the sucker in, right? You're gonna feel it. It's gonna go where it wants to go. Then you're gonna take the screw, put it in there, and then you're just gonna tighten it. But you gotta remember, this thing's at an angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the hole isn't exactly straight right now. So let's see if we don't drop this, and then you're gonna feel it. You're gonna start getting tight. So.
Oh, that's amazing.
So
way better.
These bolts are really tiny. Never over crank. Once you got it snug on this end, as far as you can get, you're going to put the tool back in there, right? And then you're going to give it a quarter turn. And then you're going to stop. And that's as tight as it needs to be. Since it's a pressed fit, once it gets in there, you never got to do anything else.
Got it.
Then you do the same thing for the other side. And then, so you see this line right here, the cutout. So if you go in from the bottom, and push in. See how kind of like a pressed fit?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you want to do, is kind of get that press fit feel. And sucker started, but you can see the hole behind it. You kind of got to push the shifter down to line the hole a little better because it's trying to fight you. And you just tighten it. See it right there. I have really fat fingers. That's how it should go. It should go in like butter. You should be able to run it all the way down with your hands. That's it. And then we're going to go ahead and give her the quarter turn. Get our fancy tool on here. I'm going to go to on because that's off. And then give her quarter turn. That's it.
So wheel is in, paddles are in.
Yep. Now
Now
we
we're
gotta
put
do the last piece. So here is. Oh, you don't even have that option. That's why. I'm looking for this connector, but there's no pins in there because you don't have that option.
Oh
So
yeah.
don't be alarmed if you guys see that. If you see something, you're like, oh shit, did I miss something? This comes on the plus models. Is this a plus?
No.
Okay, so on the plus models, it has an extra connector. If
Yeah,
you
it's
don't have it, don't be alarmed. It's not the end of the world.
yeah, it's for the exhaust and the race mode. There's like 2 buttons
Yep.
under it.
Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and see this. Get the camera in here. See the paddle shifter wire? You gotta make sure you don't pinch that. So you're gonna pull this out. Clip's always facing down. And we're gonna pop this sucker in really quick, just like that. It just kind of pops in there. What I recommend doing is taking a little flathead. I know it's in there, but I like to just give it a little shove just to make sure, right? And then we're gonna go here and do the same thing on this side.
So just connecting the paddles.
Yeah, basically we're just connecting the paddles right now. And then you want to use that flathead just to make sure you're,
Fully secured in.
yeah, I mean, you don't really hear them lock because they're so tiny,
Uh-huh.
but it's nice to put a little flathead on there and just, it's, once it can't go anymore, that's it. It's definitely seated, you know. Just peace of mind stuff, nothing crazy. Don't try to ram the screwdriver in it. It just needs a very little bit of pressure. That's it. So just a little tap, little something like that, and that's it. And then you're going to install the power on the horn. Once again, I've got fat fingers. It's not that easy for me. So there's the power, and then you have your ground. You're going to attach the ground. Okay, ground's on. Now, final assembly. Make sure all the wiring for the paddles are hidden. Make sure there's nothing hanging out, nothing in here in the holes. Okay, you got to be very careful because if you pinch the wire, not only do you have to take it all back apart, but you're probably gonna have to rebuy this piece, and I know for a fact it's expensive as shit. So you're just gonna massage this thing, slowly work it in. There is pins in there that guide it into its spot. So you see these clips right here? So these better go exactly where they gotta go, or else this thing will not go. And then all of a sudden you'll hear a clip. Okay, massage, one clip, almost like that. Now you could put some pressure on this. You're not going to break it pushing it in, right?
Yeah.
So that's it. So she's in there, and we have our holes now. So here is your old screw, so we don't get confused. We're going to put these down here. So we have 4 bolts, same 4 T20s, I believe, that we took off. T20s. So you're going to put your T20s back in. No specific order, just get them on there. These need to be sunken all the way down. So once you bottom it out, you're done. Do not over torque them. Don't kill it. It's plastic. If you kill it, you'll crack it. And if this thing's sitting flush, then there's no gap, and there's no reason for you to beat the life out of it.
And it's 4 screws holding it, so it should be tight enough.
Yep. Yeah, they're very coarse. So, once they get tight, you'll feel them start to get really tight really quick. Don't be worried about that. And then we have the last one. All right. Horn, paddles, harness. So,
All installed. Just need to connect the airbag.
yep. So on the airbag, you have this black clip, which we all know goes right here. And then this one clips into the top right here. See that? And then the airbag one goes right underneath it.
Got it.
So we're just going to go ahead and connect this. This has to go in its hole. That's connected. And then remember the whole clips that we were doing here?
Yes.
Hold it. This is basically clearancing itself. So this sits in this pouch right here. That's exactly where it should be. So you got to take it and stick it in there like that. Oh, let me get my fat fingers in there. Just like that. See how it sits down there?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't protrude on any of this. So then you got to plug this sucker in, right? So this top one goes up in here. If we can get our fat fingers in, you'll hear it click. And then we got the last of the Mohicans right here. So this one goes in like this. You'll hear it click. Then you're going to take your orange clip that we removed in the beginning without the hair, and you're going to slide that sucker in there on the top.
That just locks in the.
Just locks it in place, yeah.
God.
I just got fat fingers. This is that fat finger conversation we were talking about.
That's it. So then this right here, you see your butt plugs?
Yeah.
That's what we're going to call them. You're going to take the sucker right here. You're going to kind of center it, and then you'll feel it. It'll pop in when it wants to pop in. So, airbag popped in. Now all you got to do is connect the battery, close everything up front, fire up, and you get to go drive it.
Let's go. So we just reconnected the battery and we good. Alright guys, we have the wheel and paddles in. These paddles feel amazing. And the steering wheel is great. Let's see how it feels on the road. After listening to George's 370Z, it feels like this car is too quiet. I talked to him how to put some cheapies in this. Oh yeah, this thing is fun. Oh, way better. If you have a R8, you definitely need these mods. The wheel, the paddles, they just feel like 100 times better. Alright, bro.
It never gets easier.
You're getting old?
Yeah.
You
How old
are
are you?
old. 27?
Yeah, let me know when you hit your 40s. We'll talk.
40s. Thank you so much for the wheel, bro. It looks amazing, and the paddles, it just changes the whole feel.
Yeah, it makes it more fun to drive too. Shifts get more exciting. It's just a quicker shift too. You know.
Everybody hit up George. He works on Toyotas. He'll make your Toyota feel like a R8.
Right.
Okay, bro.